Okay, so we're going to start off here in Kaledo, and I've opened up Print Design. In Print Design, I opened up a design I created for an Argyle. And what we're going to learn in this lesson is we're going to learn how to do color reduction. So I'm going to zoom in for you to the top controls in Print Design. So as we pan across the top, you can see there's any number of things that you can do in Print Design. One of them, this last one with the grid on the top with the daisy, is what we'll be covering in a later lesson on draping objects. But in the Print Design, which is probably the largest area of Kaledo and the one that I would say is the most popular unit because people do a lot of print design, is it gives you the capability of working in what are called true color images, which is to say they're like Photoshop images where they have over 2 million colors in them. And simultaneously, you can go to what are called 256, or in Illustrator and Photoshop, they're called index color images, where the color palette is limited to 256 colors. So the purpose for limiting the colors is so that you are able to do more things with an image. Like I'm sure like we look at this image, and you can see it pretty much looks like a fairly clean image, but if we look in closer, you'll see there are lots of areas of blue or gray shades in the greens and reds. Now, if you look over here on the left, in the left-hand column where everything happens with the colors, you'll notice there aren't any colors there. That is an indication that this is what I call a true color image, meaning that there are now currently 2 million shades of color in that. So why people are why this, here we'll zoom in a little bit, why print design is excessively popular amongst people who in the industry who can afford to use it is you can bring in any kind of image and you can easily reduce the color, but also they have a tremendous, which, let's see if I can use my mouse to point to it. This first daisy helps you to reduce the color. This second daisy helps you to clean the image if there's a lot of pixelation. This last studio here is the big money maker, Design Repeat Studio, which allows you to put things in repeat very easily. This one you're familiar with from what we learned in Knit Designer already, which is the Colorway Studio. And then this module over here is the Draper Studio, which is a extremely easy system, or quick at being able to put any design onto either a photograph or illustration to give it the appearance it was drawn in there or it was already on the object. So now, right now, we're concerning ourselves with this first area, which is the Color Reduction Studio. So now we're going to click on this, and we're going to open up what will be this dialog box called Color Reduction. Now, in this lesson, we're not going to go over all of the different capabilities of the Color Studio in terms of reducing an image, all right? This first one, it says, of course, is histogram, which brings you to the 255. The 6 color in 256 is screen black, which for many of the older original methods was the color that was used for transparency, the black being the screen color. You might be more familiar that images today, a lot of systems out of the Adobe are using the images on actual sheets of projected paper. But the original drawing methods were on what would essentially be black screens. In this case, you're seeing the screen, which you can change actually, but we're seeing the screen instead of as black as a gray and white check. But not to digress too much. So the first thing that we're going to do over here is we're going to check the box that says preview. And as I pan back, you can see that now I have two images. So that gives us the ability to see what we're doing to the image without corrupting the original image. Now next to that is a box that says new object. So in that respect, we want to, if we click this, then we will not only correct the image to being only a few colors, but we will also preserve the second copy, which is the original image. So in this case, I have saved this already, so I don't need the new object. So I'm going to unclick on that. Normal course of things, if you're scanning, it's best to do the new object so that you can save them both. All right, so now what we're going to do here is a similar method that Professor Comlin demonstrated in color reduction. And so we're going to select the familiar eyedropper tool. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here fairly close, and I'm going to start on the bottom. I'm going to pick up the green color. I'm going to pick up the gray color. I'm going to pick up this pink watermelon-y color, the blue color, the black color. I'm going to pan out a little bit so I can see if there are some other colors here. It's possible that I have to move this dialog box over a little bit so that I can be sure. And then I look back over here and I have the green, I have the gray, the pink, the blue, the black, the other shade of green. And over here, if I pan out, I can see what my image is going to look like. So we'll move it over a little bit. Hold on. So that you can have a better image. It seems like I've missed a color right here, which is this kind of peachy color. All right, so now I think that I have gotten most of my colors. I look over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I'm going to also have to pick up this white color, which puts me at 8, which I realize, of course, is under the amount of colors that Professor Comlin is over the amount of colors Professor Comlin discussed. But I have another method of taking that color away while maintaining its position in the Colorway Studio. So for this point, I've picked up all the colors in the original design, I think. Actually, I think there is another color I have not picked up, this light pink color. Yeah, I think this is a... hold on. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to press apply. So now as we look at this image, we see that the image is fairly clean. But this, as Professor Comlin explained to you, is a raster image. So basically you can see that there's levels of pixelization to this image. But in Knit Design, that's a benefit to me. So I'm not really that worried about it because I know that I will be able to utilize that to give me my nice edges in my stitches. So I'm going to look over here. I think I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to come up to the file, and I'm going to save this image. So we're going to stop here because I'm going to save the image, and as a TIFF file, and I'm going to then bring it up in Kaleido Knit. So I'm going to stop here and we will start in Kaleido Knit. And this time, before I merged the whole image and converted it, this time I'm going to do a similar thing, but I'm going to use the image as a stamp since it's in repeat so that I can create the design. So I'm going to turn it off just for now, and then we'll open a new video.